Hi, this is Gina with Now Sober, and if you're doing the Dry January Challenge with me, we are on our way and working through it. Today's tip is to read. Here's what's great about reading. It is a distraction from drinking. It's really hard to pay attention to what you're reading if all you're thinking about is alcohol or drinking or the fact that you can't drink. It can distract you. Reading can distract you from that other goal that you want but don't want. And it doesn't matter what you read if you're just looking for a distraction. But I'm going to give a few book tips because they have helped me a lot in understanding why I drink. So the first one, I don't have a copy of the book here because I listened to it on Audible, so I had it on an audio version of it, no books. But the first one is This Naked Mind. I forget who it's by. I think it's Annie something another. And she talks about recovering from alcohol, actually much in the way I believe that we should do it, which is change our mindset, change our wants and our needs, and does it have to be a permanent thing? For me, it's going to be a permanent thing. For her, I think it's a permanent thing. I get the impression that it's a permanent thing, but she doesn't talk about it in the sense that it has to be a permanent thing, but rather understand it and know it. So start with her book. It's really good. And it'll help you to understand things like the obsession. And I love the part where she talks about the dopamine hit and, that the brain gets with alcohol and what happens to the brain and why it goes from such an awesome time, I'm partying and I'm drinking and I'm having a good time to in the end, I was in a dirty garage that, that smelled like dog poop and no lights, and I really didn't want to leave the garage like it was the best place in the world to be. It wasn't. It was horrible. But that's where alcohol put me, in this deep, deep depressed state. So that's one option. Another option is The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. I always want to put Dryer. My best friend in middle school was named Dryer, Holly Dryer. But Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I am reading this book in my Now Sober group. I'm not reading the book. I am reading the book and finding some tips and hints and lines that I like. And I actually come on in the mornings, not every morning, but at least once a week. Come on in the morning and I'll read the quote and talk about it. But this one is The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. Another favorite of mine is T.D. Jakes, and he has a couple books that I've read. He has Soar, and he has Destiny, and I think there's one called Instinct, or it's either Instinct or I don't have it. I do have it, but I don't see it on my shelves, so it might be in my room. But anyways, T.D. Jakes, that was a really, really easy book to read. And actually, the first time I read him, I think it was Destiny that I read, and I was on a trip with a bunch of people, and I was very triggered that week to drink, and I read the book in like a couple of days. It was just very easy to read, and it helped me to see how our instinct, if we listen to our intuition and our instinct, that we can come up with the answers that we already knew was there. It's just we're not listening to them while we're drinking. And then Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. She's talks about courage and moving into your courage. Anyways, great, easy book to read. If you have not read Daring Greatly or have not heard about Brene Brown, she has an HBO special that I watched. She's funny as heck. And then she also has a TED Talk that she did that actually became famous. It was just huge. It blew up like, viral. But that's Brene, B-R-E-N-E Brown. That does Daring Greatly, and a number of other books. So that's just a few to get you started. I have a lot of other books that I've read, and I actually would like to do more of them in the Now Sober group. If you don't belong to the Now Sober group and you want to get a little bit on this Power of Intention with Dr. Wayne Dyer, I'm perfectly willing to go in there and do a Book of the Month club or a Book of the Week club. I don't know if I have time to do a Book of the Week, but I would do a Book of the Month where we read a book and discuss it in the group. Now Sober Facebook group is totally free. Just go in there and Click join. There's a couple questions to ask. I don't think they're incredibly hard. I might change them up so that they're actually easier, yes, no kind of things to ask. They're not too in depth. Maybe I might go and change them. But join the group, and I try to give some other tips and do some other things in that group as well. Today's tip is to read. First, because it adds distraction to your life, maybe when you want to drink. And second, because it'll add information to your life. And you know, I did not say this, but you can also read something totally random like science fiction. I love science fiction. And it's not going to help me in the tiniest bit, I don't think, unless it just happens to surprise me with it, with learning how to be sober or maintaining sobriety. Except when I'm reading a science fiction book, I'm not thinking about alcohol. And so pick science fiction, love story, whatever you want. Just pull out a book and get started. I'd like to know in the comments, what are you reading today? And tell us how that's going for you. All right, thanks, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.